First off, I want to start off by number one, just sending condolences and well wishes to those in Manchester, affected by that act of terrorism, which is rough. I can't say that I've been through it or know how they feel, but I know how it feels to lose loved ones, and it's never a great thing. So, just send our condolences to them, and also want to congratulate the Spurs on a great season. Obviously, not ending the way they want. Um, but stand-up organization, always one of the teams right there at the end. Obviously this isn't the end of them. I'm getting Kawhi back healthy, and coming back next year. I know they'll come back strong. So, I want to congratulate them on a great season as well.
How much more subdued is this celebration than the last couple of West Finals?
Obviously it's something that you're going to appreciate. You try not to take it for granted. It just doesn't happen every year, where you're headed to the NBA Finals. So you appreciate it, but, you can definitely sense a little different type of feeling where it's, it's all right, it's great, and everybody's excited about it, but you just see that a difference, and it's still kind of business as usual. We're not finished type of attitude yet, which is great. You definitely want to have that, and knowing that we need 4 more wins to accomplish our main goal.
Draymond, as a competitor, beating the Spurs when they face so many injuries, does it have kind of a spoiled taste? If you
No, you have to be who's out on the floor. And obviously, as a competitor, you want to play a team at full strength. That's just the nature of it. But at the end of the day, we know we also play a sport where injuries happen. And, we've been affected by some injuries before, and we know the feeling. But at the same time, regardless of who's out on the floor, you still got to go out there and win. We didn't just go play Sisters of the Poor. We played the San Antonio Spurs. This is a team that can still win no matter who they put on the floor. And you know that each and every time you step on the floor against these guys, no matter who they have out there, they can still win. And so obviously it sucks that Kawhi wasn't there and Tony wasn't there and David wasn't out there. But at the end of the day, a win is a win, and you have to be whoever's out there against you.
Dave Schilling, Bleacher Report. Do you think, piggybacking on that last question, you guys can move on from that sort of like dirty talk chatter that's been going on in the media that sort of has been blown up since Game 1?
I forgot it was going on. We've been moved on from that a long time ago. We just play basketball.
Draymond, Kirk Bowles from the Austin American-Statesman. In your 12 wins, is there one area you feel like y'all have improved the most?
I think our defensive intensity has been amazing. I think we can still improve on the attention to detail on that side of the ball. And, that can help lead us to a championship, and it'll be important in order to try to win a championship. But, overall, I think we've done a great job of locking in on the defensive side, scrambling around, trying to take away teams' number one option. And that doesn't necessarily mean the player, just, trying to make them go to a second and third option in the set, and also trying to cover that. I think we've been doing a great job of that.
How did you feel for Kevin in this moment? How joyous was he? I mean, you've had a few finals, but I think this is his first in about 5 years.
Yeah, obviously happy, for him to be sharing this moment with him after all he's went through, with joining, the squad and leaving OKC. To be headed to the NBA Finals is a great way, to combat all that talk. And, to win it would be even better. He doesn't seem like he's overjoyed or anything like that, excited to be headed to the Finals. But at the same time, he knows, he didn't make the decision he made to go to the Finals. He made a decision he made, number one, for just his own life, and where he was at in his life and what he wanted to do, but also to win a championship, to go win, not just go to the Finals. No one remembers second place. No one cares who lost in the Finals. It's about winning. So we're there. That's the first step. Now it's about winning, and you can tell he has that mindset.
Front row to your left, Scott Howard Cooper from NBA.com. You guys have been pretty close to unbeatable since you came through San Antonio near the end of the regular season. What in particular has clicked for you guys? And that was the game where there was so much attention on who didn't play. Did that game in particular spur this team forward?
I mean, I think, obviously anytime you play against a great organization, great team like the Spurs, you win, it's confidence booster. No matter who you are, you gain confidence. I think that was a good game for us, especially. I think we went down big, if I'm not mistaken, and we came back and won pretty convincingly. That was a big game for us. I can't necessarily say like, oh, that game is the reason we're playing the way we're playing today. I think just at a point in the season where you want to be playing your best basketball, and the entire season you're aiming to get towards that. You're working to get towards that, to that level, the entire season. And so I think we've done that. I think we're clicking at the right time, and I also think we're still getting better. I don't think we've reached our ceiling yet.
Is there one or two things that you can point to that have really gone in that positive direction at the end of the regular season and out through the playoffs?
I think our defense, has really stepped up a lot. We've picked that up quite a bit. Everybody's locked in on that side of the basketball. I say a perfect example is Clay. He hasn't found his shot pretty much throughout the playoffs, yet he's been just as locked in, if not more locked in than anybody on that side of the basketball, and that's a huge step for us. And then also I think our offensive flow. We're not singling anyone out saying, hey, man, we need to get this guy the ball. We're just doing everything in the flow of the offense. The guys who need to get shots. And, I think our offense is rolling, and we're very powerful when we're playing that way.
First team in history to go 12-0 to start the playoffs. I mean, are you shocked that you were just able to go sweep through the West?
I mean, you never come into the playoffs expecting like, oh, man, we're going to sweep every series, but it's a great thing. But at the end of the day, had we went 4-3, 4-3, and 4-3, we'd still be in the same position. So, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean too much. It means we got a little more rest. We played a few less games. But, it's not like you get some trophy or something for being undefeated, throughout the first 3 rounds of the playoffs. It's like I've said it before, it's about winning the championship. And we're 4 games away for that. Now, if that's 4-0, great. If it's 4-3, great. It doesn't matter how you get those 4 wins as long as you get them, and that's our goal.
Cedric Golden, Austin American Statesman. Draymond, Steph got an and one late in the game and stopped just before he shot his free throw to allow Manu to have his moment. What are your impressions of what he's done in his career, and how much gas do you think he's got left in the tank?
I think, I think when you look at the gesture by Steph, that was great. It's much respect. It's for Manu and this entire organization, and he definitely deserved that moment, all he's done for the game of basketball. He kind of worked us pretty good these 4 games, so I think he got, quite a bit left in the tank. Obviously it's up to him how much longer he wants to go, but, one thing about it, he's definitely not a liability on the floor. He can still defend. He can still score buckets with the best of them. So I think it's pretty much up to him and how he's feeling personally. But he's slowed down a step, of where he was 7 years ago. But we all go through that at some point or another. And yet everyone can come out, in the year 15. And I'm pretty sure he probably averaged close to 17, 18 points a game in this series. Obviously not the turnout, but, they're also down some of their guys as well. Does he play that same way when their guys are out there? Probably so, because he does the same thing for them at all times. And, it could help, be a different outcome the way he was playing. So, definitely much respect to Manu and their organization, but everything that he's done in his career. First ballot Hall of Famer for sure. And, hopefully we'll see more of him. I enjoy watching him play. Still one of the toughest guys. Anytime someone asks me, like, who's the toughest guys you ever guard in the league, he's one of the ones always in my answer. So, definitely want to see him give it, some more. It's enjoyable to watch. And, but at the end of the day, we all know that it comes to an end Sunday. But it's always great to have that option. Everybody don't go out on their own terms. I know he'll have that opportunity, and that's great.